This is the dawn of a new era in British karting. Over 550 drivers in 12 classes competing for victory over 18 race weekends. This is the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships.
The senior X30 racers head to Rowrah as the most experienced drivers out of the 4 series competing this weekend. Mark Kimber entered this season off the back of securing the IAME Euro X30 senior title this year and already has a final victory to his name in 2019.
We've had a difficult weekend so far. We've had a few problems with the brake, but we're getting there, and we had a better day today so far, 9th and 7th in the heat, so hopefully we can start further off. Because of the nature of the track, it's really hard to overtake and follow people closely, so if we have a good start, I think we've got a good chance.
Back up into 2x2 formation. Once again, pole position on the inside on the front row of the grid, which means Danny Curl in the red and white Jade Racing Team Virulart chassis will look to try and get the perfect jump away from pole position. Alongside him on the front row is the purple and blue machine of KR Sports, and it is Sean Butcher with Clayton Ravenscroft, his teammate on the inside of row 2. Alongside him, Oliver Hodgson, PF International. Here we go, 2x2. Curl and Butcher on the front row of the grid. Who's going to get the victory in race number 2 in the final for the Senior X30 into turn 1? They go at the start, and it's going to be a quick start already for Danny Curl. Second place for Sean Butcher. Third place already looks to be for Oliver Hodgson. Getting the jump on Clayton Ravenscroft into McRae's corner for the first time. He is third place now for Hodgson. Fifth place also for actually possibly Nelson King, I think. Nelson King got a good start to 5th position at the expense of Eduardo Cosseteng. And also I think a good start also for another DHR car, possibly Jensen Brown, I think. It's a very similarly coloured car. There's a yellow flag out to the entry towards Ivell Bem. Had 2 carts come together, sadly, so it's a bit of a hindrance to their race so far. Meanwhile, as they come out of Sunny Corner up towards Paddock for the first time, it will be Danny Curl who will maintain the lead from pole position. So Curl leads the way then. It's 2nd place for Sean Butcher, 3rd place for Hodgson, 4th place for Ravenscroft, 5th place for Nelson King. He's made up 1 spot for the good already. Costing down to 6th, Turner 7th, Porter 8th, Kimber 9th, Pendlebury 10th. And it's Hudson, Lawrence, Laflamme, Tillett and Wood rounding out the top 15 as they come up through Ivell Corner for the second time. The 2 carts that we've lost appears to be, I've got the second page of my time screen, so I'll have to look at that a little bit later on. Come back up towards the Stuart S's again for the second time. Still yellow flags flying at the complex where the incident happened. So top 5 breakaway already between Curl, Butcher, Hodgson, Ravenscroft and King. Let's scrap the 6th. Cosseteng, Turner and Morgan Porter nose to tail for 6th, 7th and 8th. Who we've got now? Nelson King up the inside 5th position, and look at that, trying to steal the pass as well up the inside. It's actually Eduardo Thomas Turner, I think. So that was a bit of a surprise move there, because Thomas Turner and Eduardo Cosseteng got through. So Thomas Turner and Morgan Porter got through at the expense of Eduardo Cosseteng, and it kind of caught him off guard. So he's down to 7th place. It was edged out wide a little bit on the exit of Pallet, but he's going to recover back to 7th. He's now coming under threat from 8th place, He's going to come under threat from Alex Pendlebury and Mark Kimber in the top 10. Top 5 change to the lead, possibly up the inside goes. A look to be possibly Sean Butcher. And so it's now Butcher into the lead of the race now. Australian from Curl in 2nd place. And it's Ravenscroft 3rd, 4th place for Hodgson. So Ravenscroft's made him a place also. He's got back past Hodgson after losing out at the start. So Curl, Butcher, Hodgson. So Ravenscroft from Hodgson. Then King and Turner, Porter, Cosseteng, Pendlebury and Hudson rounding out the top 10. Back out through McRae's down towards Iredale for the what's now lap 4. Fastest lap of the race in the first couple of laps has already been taken by Jack Gordon. Good to see with a 46.99, so quick lap times put in already at this early stage. Thanks to Stuart S's again now for the 4th time. Josh Graham, he was one of the 2 possible drivers involved. The other drivers involved looks to be possibly, unfortunately, Alexander Huang, so he's out of the race. Mario Zanetti didn't even start the race, sadly, so he was a non-starter. Top 5 out of Paddock Bend now. It's now a KR Sport 1-2 because Danny Curl was shuffled down to 4th place. So it's now Butcher that leads the way. Ravenscroft in 2nd place, Hodgson 3rd. Curl is down to 4th place now, being put under threat from Nelson King in 5th position. Turner 6th, Porter 7th, Pendlebury 8th from Costing, and Hudson rounding out the top 10. And down towards Iredale again on lap 5 into the hairpin. Here they go. And trying to give chase down 6th position is Thomas Turner for MLR. So the Mark Litchfield cart, the blue and yellow cart of Thomas Turner on the 0. Trying to make it a 6-cart scrap for the lead rather than a 5-way dance. He's got the company just behind him. In 7th place, Morgan Porter on the M Sport car from the chassis. New fastest lap of the race from Alex Penn from Clayton Ravenscroft last time by. 46.78 with an average speed of 49.25 miles an hour. Top 5 back onto the pit straights again. Still a KR Sport 1-2. Butcher from Ravenscroft, from Hodgson, from Curl, and then from King. And back down towards the hairpin they go at McRae's. Back towards Iredale's. Top 5 closing up. Again, the more they scrap, the more it's going to start to bring in both Thomas Turner and Morgan Porter. And a possible change on for 9th behind, because it looks as though that we've got Pendlebury under threat from Cosseteng trying to get back through up in the inside line. The other way around. Either way, there's a scrap going on for 9th place. There's that bottom of the top 10. Top 5 back into St John's, back into Sunny Corner again. And still no change from that KR Sport 1-2. Hodgson starting to put the performance in here for 3rd place and trying to put the pressure on, whilst also having to defend from Danny Curl. And Nelson King looming large in the background in 5th position. Across the line they go to end lap 6. Top 5 is covered by less than a second. Back through the S's, up into McRae's again. No change in that top 5. Still 6th place for Turner, 7th place for Porter. There's a change for 9th, so we did see a change of position. Rory Hudson going up the inside, and Dan Holland's racing cart on Eduardo Cosseteng, young man from the Philippines. Making its way through Iredale out towards the Stuart S's on lap 7. Now we can see that strong position. He's been put under a little bit of pressure now, but actually been passed by his teammate Clayton Ravenscroft. So Clayton hits the front now. Ravenscroft leads the way. Butcher in 2nd place. The 2 KR Sport drivers will swap positions on this lap. So Ravenscroft hits the front. Hodgson still 3rd. Danny Curl not really able to make too many inroads in 4th place, unless you can start to size him up for a move within the next couple of laps. But he's coming under big threat from Nelson King behind him as well. So, in all fairness, any one of these 5 drivers could certainly put themselves into the mix for the victory. Turn out of Iredale, now on the run down towards Stuart Esses. They'll wiggle their way down towards the braking zone. And a possible change on maybe 2nd or 3rd. A bit of position swapping going on. Change for 2nd. Up the inside has gone. Oliver Hodgson in the number 3's the PF International car up into P2 now. That's Butcher down to 3rd. Curl now going to put him under threat for in 4th position. 5th place now for Nelson King. And also pulling away now from that scrap for 7th. That is Thomas Turner, who's got the gap now on both the 39 of Alex Pendlebury. So Pendlebury's up there pretty high now, up to 7th place, ahead of Morgan Porter, with Hudson 8th. And then Hudson 9th, sorry, and Cosseteng rounding out the top 10 from Kimber and Tillett. 8.5 minutes to go in this race. Top 5 still nose to tail as it was. I think there's been no changes there. Not quite. Still Butcher holding on to 3rd place, but under threat from Danny Curl. Not making a move yet into the Stuart Esses as the top 5 turn their way through. Turner trying to give chase in 6th position. Callum Driscoll's towards the back of the field, but looks like he's had some problems lap down at this point. Clayton Ravenscroft using the clear air to his advantage here, turning his way out through paddock corner. We've got a small gap to... It's now Sean Butcher back into 2nd place. So Butcher's managed to displace his teammate, or displace Hodgson, and get back onto the tail of his teammate in 2nd place. Hodgson 3rd, Danny Curl 4th, Nelson King in 5th position. Looking pretty racy now in P5. He can start to prove a threat for yesterday's Heat 1, so Final 1 winner, Danny Curl. 6th place for Turner, 7th place for Pendlebury. And it's Porter, Hudson and Cosseteng rounding out that top 10. The field looking pretty static towards the mid-pack and down towards the rear, so plenty of good battles forming. Thomas Turner really is turning up the heat here, with some good pace in 6th position, trying to close in on this top 5 as they come out through Paddock Bend to end lap 10. Fastest 1st sector from Butcher, fastest 2nd sector from Danny Curl. Is there a new fastest lap of the race? So that's currently held by Louis Westover, who Westover is up to 13th place after he started back in 19th. So the young man who entered in the points in 6th place this weekend is making up after a bit of a shaky day so far. And trying to make up as much as he can. I think his aim will be at least the top 10 before the end of the race. Back towards the Stuart S as they go. On lap 10, they've got 6 3/4 minutes to go in this second final of the weekend in the Senior X30 Championship. Turner still 6th, still 7th place for Pendlebury, who's trying to chase after Turner. 8th place in another DHR car is Rory Hudson. It's Porter, but not for long. It's not, because up the inside goes over wide. Costain back into 9th place. I think also Porter lost 2 or 3 spots. Costain then gets elbowed out wide. There's more battles going on with the 22 and the 16. That's involving both Louis Westover and Archie Tillett into the first few S's. So as they came across the line, that battle for 9th and 10th has now got Tillett up to 9th place, Westover up to 10th, Costain down to 11th after he got as high as 9th at one point, Porter 12th, Gus Lawrence is up to 13th, Mark Kimbridge down to 14th place, and Jack Gordon remains in 15th, a couple of tenths away as they turn back into the hairpin. So lots of battling going on in the mid-pack so far. And for Stuart S's, top 5 all together now, and Thomas Turner again just trying to edge closer and closer. KR Sport 1-2 again, but Ravenscroft and Butcher. The next Hodgson, Curl, and King. We might start to be joined by the Mark Litchfield Racing chassis of Thomas Turner in 6th position. 7th place, we said, still trying to give chase in P7 is Alex Pendlebury. Then it's Hudson. And then Louis Westover's up to 9th now at the expense of Archie Tillett, so up another place for Louis. So to watch out for him. Started back in 19th place, up 10 spots already. He's the biggest mover in the race so far, as is also Matthew Hudson, because he started back in 33rd at the back of the grid. He is now up 10 spots to 23rd, so good work there from Matthew. He tries to make a recovery drive after a bit of an unsatisfactory day of heats so far. Top 5 continues nose to tail up through St John's, up through Sunny once again. 5 minutes to go in this second final of the weekend for the Senior X30. Now we've got Gus Lawrence giving up, Oliver Hodgson, giving up 3rd position to Danny Curl, and that was into the right-hander at Paddock. So a move on there for P3. Danny Curl decides, right, no more messing around in 4th place, trying to get back up towards the front. He's picked off his first adversary. Now he's got the KR Sport duo to get past, but I'm pretty sure they're going to both hunt as a pair rather than as a separate contenders in his next 5 laps or so. As Curl now starts to make the charge back towards the top 2. He'll start to bring Hodgson with him, as also will Nelson King go with him as well. Turner's progress seems to have stagnated a bit. He seems to have plateaued in 6th place. He was about roughly a second and a half back and not really making too many more inroads, as we see some big fighting between these top 5. 7th place for Pendlebury, 8th for Hudson, 9th for his teammate Louis Westover, and now 10th place now still for Archie Tillett in the second of the PS Sport International karting chassis. Top 5 again, down towards Iredale's on lap 15. Fastest lap of the race is still Louis Westover, 46.43, 49.62 miles per hour average lap speed. Noel closes back in now in 3rd place, behind the top 2 in KR Sport, trying to find a way through if he can. Still 4th place for Hodgson. Still 5th for Nelson King. He's not going to move just yet, but he's just biding his time possibly, looking for a way through. Again, looking at the gap between 5th and 6th place, he's still remaining stuck to get round about 1.6 seconds at this point. End of another lap, 3 1/4 minutes to go. Top 5 winds its way through the S's again once more. Gap back to 6th is still about 1.6 seconds now. Is there any opportunity for any of these top 5 to try and possibly make a move here? Or are they all just biding their time until the last lap, the last possible chance to get through? We've seen it in previous races, previous finals earlier on this afternoon. The drivers have left theirs past to the last possible moment. For some it's worked, others it hasn't. They've just missed out, but this is probably one of the highest, fastest games of chess you'll see in terms of Senior X30 karting. Fantastic strategic racing between these 5. And they're doing enough to keep any progress from Thomas Turner at bay. Still top 10 staying as it was. Pendlebury 7th, Hudson 8th, Louis Westover is 9th. Archie Tillett 10th with just under 2.5 minutes to go. Up towards McRae's now. With, I think probably we're going to get, at the end of this lap, 2 more, I'd imagine. Probably 2 more, I think. And just wait and see. Top 5 is going to change a little bit. Danny Kelvin for the race now. He's right next to rear tail of Sean Butcher now, to come up into St John's with Sunny in. Butcher holds on 2nd place. Roger Butcher applying the pressure. Is Kelvin look up the inside line? Yes, he is. Makes the move for 2nd place. He opens the door open now for Hodgson to get through. That was a big pass for Danny Curl, cycling up into Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, force side by side over the curves, but just look at that. Hodgson has to sit back as Butcher holds on. This brings Nelson King into play. He looks to the outside line. Now it's all kicking off at the front. King looks to try and get fourth position. Couldn't get around Hodgson to take the place. Hodgson's too preoccupied trying to get past Sean Butcher now as he tries to go through Iredale. But now what's interesting, that battling has released the top two at the front. 1 minute 20 to go that we're going to get off this lap. I think actually 2 more to go actually. So at the completion of this lap, so they come back into St John's. There is a definitive gap now. Ravenscroft and Curler out in front. Fight for third is now become not just a 5-car kart scrap for that top 5 positions. Up the inside for third goes Oliver Hodgson, squeezing Sean Butcher out wide. Through goes Nelson King as well. So at the same corner for 2 laps in a row, Sean Butcher's been hoodwinked into Paddock Hill. Benden's lost 3 spots in 2 laps. First Danny Curl and then Oliver Hodgson squeezing up the inside, forcing him wide and allowing Nelson King to also benefit as well. So the new top 5 is this. Clayton Ravenscroft leads. Curl is in second place. It's now Oliver Hodgson into third place. King 4th. 5th place now for Sean Butcher, and he has to look back behind him because Thomas Turner comes into play. He's now possibly knocking the door of the top 5 finish if he's got enough pace to try and hold on here. Going to get possibly another lap as well, so I think these cars are lapping quicker than anticipated. So it's going to be another 2 laps this time by. I've seen 2 laps for the last 2 laps now, but it's going to be the penultimate lap this time by. Yes, it will. 11 seconds on the clock to go on my screen, so next time by they'll get the last lap board. And that might just be enough for Danny Curl to start to close in. New personal best for Danny Curl. He was a 10th faster than Ravenscroft on that lap, and the gap is just under half a second. Curl is getting ever closer here. That double final victory might not be totally out of his grasp. But if Ravenscroft can possibly hold on here, he could make it 1-1 from the weekend, unless Curl can try and make a move here. He's closed up nicely through the Stuart S's. Now on the exit now through St John, he's right on the rear tail of Ravenscroft. Ravenscroft isn't safe now. 67 start looking. His mirrors looking behind him now. It's 75 car, I should say. 67 is Danny Curl. He's the one that's looking there. He's going to be on the tail of the leader, on for pit straight to start the last lap. This is the battle then for the lead. Ravenscroft and Curl, they duelled for it yesterday all the way through, and it was Curl that held the way. Ravenscroft has pretty much held the lead all the way from the start of the race as Curl goes wide onto the entrance of the race to get the switch back on the exit now towards Iredale's. Which race is going to go? Left or right? Looks to the wider outside line. Ravenscroft looks across. Oh, there you are, Danny. I didn't realise you were that close behind me. Looking around the outside goes Danny Curl. That's a great move around the outside. Danny Curl sweeps around the outside line, and Clayton Ravenscroft had every right to look to his left-hand side. Didn't realise Danny was diving down the outside line into Iredale's, and Danny Curl switches past and gets the lead with about 3/4 of a lap to go. Hodgson back in third place, closing in. Nelson in fourth place. Butcher's going to be closed in by Thomas Turner. But up towards the checkered flag, incredibly, with another beautifully timed last lap pass, it will be Danny Curl who does the double in Senior X30. Curl victory. He puts up the sign. 2 final victories for the weekend for Danny Curl. Fantastic last lap pass around the outside. Clayton Ravenscroft second place. It's Oliver Hodgson third. Nelson King fourth. Sean Butcher fifth. Thomas Turner sixth. And it's 7th place for Pendlebury, 8th for Rory Hudson, 9th for Louis Westover, a brilliant drive through the field from 19th to 9th. And then it's Archie Tillett rounding out the top 10, Gus Lawrence 11th, and Warren Cossetane takes 12th, and Jensen Brown, Axel Hurd-Laflamme, and Matt Armstrong. But what a fantastic last lap pass that was for Danny Curl to secure the double here in Senior X30. Brilliant pass. And that will certainly help him score a ton more points. And Rory Hudson in that race was 8th, Louis Westover was 9th behind him. Gus Lawrence was down 11th. So if you're the championship contenders coming to the weekend in the sort of top 5, top 6 positions, from Gus Lawrence, Eduardo Cossetane, Jensen Brown, Axel Hurd-Laflamme, and Matt Armstrong, and Thomas Wood, Ruben Moyer, Cole Kilner, and Derek Morgan should round out the top 20 positions.
It's clear that no one can stop Danny Curl or the Jade Racing team when they're on a roll, and that was proven this weekend with 2 final victories. However, Clayton Ravenscroft has confidence in his kart and his pace, and he'll be looking to put them both to good use to cement his championship lead for the rest of the season.
We had a reasonable day. I wouldn't say I'm happy, so I wanted to win. It was a tough race. I don't think we quite had the speed that Clayton did out front in the final. But it certainly had a kart underneath me that was capable of winning. And it was always going to be a case of timing it right. At the point where Danny got me, I needed to get Sean Butcher in the race. and that really sealed my fate there. So, but again, great car under me from Team PFI, so looking forward to getting to the next one and getting stuck in.
Yeah, it's been a really enjoyable weekend, battling out the front with Danny. Yesterday he managed to have the edge on us in the first races and in the final, but in the races today I think we had a bit more pace than him, but managed to in the final be out at the front, me and him just with a gap, and feel like the last 2 laps maybe I made a few mistakes, and that's on my part, but the team did a really good job this weekend, and yeah, I'm really happy.
It's really hard around here, everyone's so close, but yeah, no, yesterday was good to get the win, and obviously you're always happy after the first round to go well, and then yeah, today was really difficult. We was there, but it was difficult to overtake, and then halfway through the race it started to come for us, and we started to go a bit better, got in the second, and then yeah, just managed to get past on the last lap and win the race. So yeah, very happy, and the team did a great job. Massive thanks to Jade Karts, Jade Engines, and the Bureau obviously worked well, and yeah, on to the next one I guess.